I get mad frustrated when I rhyme, thinking of all the crews that tried to do this for all the wrong reasons. Seasons change, mad things rearrange, but it all stays the same like the love Doctor Strange. I obtain like the rapper. Get red like a snapper when they do that. Got your whole block saying true that. Boom, classic Lauren Hill. Hello, America. Hello, world. Hello, you. It is your new best friend, Cashmere, California. And this is the Pod is Good podcast, episode 47. Pod is good and all the time. If you know, you know. If you don't, keep listening. You will learn today. I got one of my homies in the building. A beautiful, beautiful lady who is an amazing singer who I've known since I was in grade school. And I know she is going to bring an incredible conversation about not only music, but just life and entrepreneurship and being a woman and family and all of that. All of that. This is a good episode we got for y'all today. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready because we are. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, JustYola is in the building.
Going to clap for myself. Yeah.
How you been? How you been?
I've been good. I've been hanging in there one day at a time, honestly.
Yeah,
I think we
that's
all
what we
are.
all do, right? That's what we all do.
Yep.
One day at a time. I feel like
Yeah.
you're like right here at the like right there, like right on the
Hi.
line.
The closer I get to you, you're like, wait a minute. Not that close.
You.
Hey. Is that better? Is that okay? Let me
Yeah,
let me
that's
just
right. There
hit
you
that.
go.
Okay.
Swag with it. You know, lean into that
Yeah.
Bay Area lane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah,
comfortable.
you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I mean.
All right, for those that don't know,
Oh,
and there's only a few that don't, for those that don't know, JustYola is an amazing, sultry soul singer. I mean, I've known that since Choice. That's where I knew you from. I
shit.
mean, that's where I knew the beginnings of JustYola. Is that where JustYola got her chops and really began as a singer?
1000%.
Mm.
I was 3 years old. Actually, I grew up as a 7 day Adventist,
Hmm.
which is, I don't, I hate to throw out the term cult like, but kind of like
Do
that.
they have a choir? Do they have a choir? I didn't know they had choir.
Yeah, the little choir we sang, like if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Um, but at 3 years old, first learned how to even speak, and they put me in this little choir. And my mom always tells this story about how everyone had their hymn books, out front and center. Mine was upside down, and I'm singing every single word. And from then on,
Wow.
everybody just kept telling me, "You can sing, you can sing." I didn't even know. And then we transitioned to Baptist when I was 11, Mount Calvary Baptist
And then that's
Church,
when you start to sing.
and that's when I
You were
started to
singing
sing.
before, and you went to that Baptist church. They brought the sang out that thing.
Hey, that's exactly correct. That's exactly how it happened. That's where I earned my stripes.
Wow. And
Mhm.
you, a lot of people may or may not know, have two other sisters that also during that time were singing a lot. Did they pretty much start out the same as you? Were you guys all singing together at 7 Day, or did you lead the pack?
That is a great question. Actually, the we started singing together when we got into Baptist church. So, my sisters, the Laforcarde sisters, as we were called,
Wow.
um, we only sang together in church primarily, and they didn't really branch off. Christina still, from my understanding, still sings in church.
Huh.
Lisi is just Lisi, sings when she can, and listens to wonderful gospel music on a daily basis. So,
Oh wow. Oh, wow.
but my mom might get us together to sing "Is My Living in Vain" every so often, and she gets to crying and all that stuff.
Oh, are you the singer that will sing like on cue?
Oh, absolutely, I am. That is one thing. If it's your birthday, let me find out it's your birthday.
What if it's like your podcast?
If it was my podcast?
What if it's like my podcast? Like
Oh,
let's just throw that out. Like just say I was in the middle of a podcast
and you'd like for me to sing
and
to
somebody
your
like wanted you to sing
podcasties and
like
you?
Patty LaBelle or something like that. Like someone just
Oh,
threw that
okay.
out.
Uh,
Like,
uh, you know what? That would absolutely be something I would be 1000% willing to do for the podcast.
really? Really? I mean,
Absolutely.
it's
I owe you. I owe you a show. Remember that one show back?
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you kind of owe me a show. I was in there like this, like
you
you ain't coming.
I was just like, dude, we don't, I don't even know the material. Back then I wasn't who I am now. So
Mhm.
now you asked me to come and impromptu some stuff with you. Let's go. Back
Yeah.
back then I was like, I don't want to tell.
Who
We
was
ain't
I?
wrong.
Who was I performing with? I had
It was for church. It was something biblical, I think.
yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
named artist though. I can't think of his name.
It was so you probably blocked out the whole memory of it. I think you did well. I'm gonna say you did well. I wished you well.
Yeah, I remember. I remember being in that church. I feel like his name was Charlie something.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was a good thing for you, but I probably would have ended up ruining my whole, wrecking my whole life. Getting up there singing like sounded horrible.
I doubt you could pull off sounding horrible. And to prove it,
Oh,
can we hear a little Anita Baker from you?
oh, okay.
You see how I
Well,
switched it
shoot,
up? You see how I
I
switched it
can.
up right
Yeah,
there?
and honestly, intuitively, I have a perfect Anita Baker song for you.
Come
I
on.
will turn off the fan for this one.
Come on. I'm gonna just
Okay,
sit back. I'm gonna just
Maybe
sit back.
help the sounding there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Anita Baker, and let me just preface this before I sing it.
Okay.
Once upon a time, I would never even attempt to sing an Anita Baker song
Mm,
because of who she is, and I
mm.
grew up thinking that it's just a difficult. She's just,
She is. She make it
but
sound easy, but it ain't easy.
yeah, it's not easy at all. So, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sing this song that I love, and that yeah. And actually, if you go to my Instagram, JustYola, I do have a small presentation of me singing Anita Baker. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I think you do
So
it.
I
All
will
right.
sing that
All
for
right.
you. The song. It's
That is Anita
called
Baker.
Rapture. You
Ooh.
familiar with that?
I'm a little bit of wrapped
A
up in
little
that.
bit, little.
A little bit wrapped up in that rapture, right? Okay. All right. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
When we met, I always knew I would feel like magic for you. In my mind, constantly, in my arms is where you should be. I want you here, I me, baby. You let my love fly free. And I want you in my life for all time. And I'm caught up in the rapture of love.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough, just Yola. That's enough, just Yola. You shutting it down.
Little bit. I
I ain't never.
try.
That was hey. You gotta put some people on notice like that.
Hey.
That's putting people on notice. Like
You,
you might have thought you could do this thing, and then you tuned in and heard just Yola do that thing. You was like, maybe maybe I'll do a Sierra song. Maybe I'll just do Sierra. I might
you
not want
know
to
what?
touch
I
that.
can't.
You always have such a big voice. Like it, I feel like when I hear you sing, you're uh, almost like having to hold back so that you can be precise in what's needed. You have like this much more to give, but it's like okay, but I gotta keep it right here. But the moment you can like take the lid off that thing, it's like a can of snakes. Boom! It just Just
Dude, you know what? Not to interrupt you because I do that often and I apologize,
oh,
but
please
I'm
do, please
just
do.
so amazed at the um intuition that you have or attention to me in general because that is literally my operation when I sing. I literally because I do have a lot of lungs within me and I am loud as F. Singing in the church now.
Yeah,
I am loud. I do use restraint, and that's actually what I'm studying to do right now within my artistry and as a vocalist, just to use that restraint. Sometimes, all in your face and loud all the time, it may sound
yeah,
good to some. Those may be like, oh, well, that was loud. She sound good, but that was loud.
yeah,
So,
yeah. You gotta find that
that's
balance.
I'm really working on just refining that, fine tuning that. I'm gonna give you just a little bit, little bit, little bit, and then when I feel you're
Yeah,
ready for the piesta resistance, all the stuff. So
yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. So that was a little bit of Anita. I gotta ask, like, in your career, I know you've worked with different people, and we'll kind of go into that and
mhm.
whatnot. But who would be your dream collaboration?
Oh wow, that is an awesome question, and two artists come to mind. Actually, three. When you talk about collaboration, and only because these are the, in my personal humble opinion, um, toughest vocalist. Period.
Yeah.
Brandy for one, vocal library. If you don't know who Brandy is, you're not a vocalist. Um, dang, humble opinion, and then and if you don't, then you're not. I would say, definitely Brandy, definitely Jasmine Sullivan. Like
Mm.
one thing, like I said, I'm always in my development, I'm always fixing. But one thing I love about Jasmine is her bottom, and that is
Yeah,
another gift that I also have too. So I
yeah.
like to study artists that have that same bottom. So it's, kind of I can listen to what you've done and then I can make my own take on it. Um, and then, and I'm just doing new age. Like we could go back historically,
Where
but
do
it's
you
just
want
in the now.
to go? Okay.
Collaboration would be Kiki Wyatt. Like just
Yeah.
ridiculous vocal ability. Not a lot of hits. I mean hits. She got hits. I'm gonna say not a
Yeah.
lot. Whoa, hits
Yeah.
and
Whoa.
hits, hits on hits on
Calm yourself down.
hits.
Calm yourself down. She got
Calm
hit.
herself. She hitting like hitting.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yeah, just vocally unrealistic. Like that to me, and I'm not even saying I'm on any level. I'm on my own level. But
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
comes to individuals that I listen to that are interwoven in my, daily playlist, that I can listen to a song that was 10 years old and play it, put up anytime.
Okay.
Those
So
three.
so so we're gonna go with Jasmine. Okay. So right now,
Mhm.
we're not sitting here. Right now, you just arrived in the studio, and Jasmine had actually been sitting here waiting for you. So you just saw her, y'all shook hands. Oh, hey, girl, love your hair. Ooh, your lipstick color, all that good stuff, right? And now we're about to start the creative process. And Jasmine looks at you and she's like, "Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of blanking right now. I need some ideas. What kind of song do you think we should do?"
Wow. One of the most, I don't even know what to call this, but one of the things about Jasmine I love is her versatility.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't understand that or know that she's actually a hellified writer and she's written for several different artists.
yeah.
A lot of songs that are not even of, soul R&B background. So I would want to leverage her ability to take her soulful sound and maybe make a song that's a little more alternative,
Hmm.
and do it that way. That's actually kind of what I would want to do. I would like, oh, let's do something popish and see
Okay,
what it
all right.
sound like.
Okay, so we got a direction. We got a
Yes.
direction. We're gonna do something kind of popish and alternative. All right. So, but what's the subject? Like, what's on your heart that you want to write about right now? What's true and real with you in your world that you feel like you can put into some good writing right now?
Oh, wow. That's a great question too because, Jasmine is like a broken female anthem writer. You know what I mean? Like if you know Jasmine, you
Right.
know that she's written quite a few songs. I broke him, I bust your window out your car
Bust
and
them
all that
out.
stuff.
I
So
bust them.
I would want to go with more so, a happy song, more so something
Mm,
in the terms of women empowerment or, something in that direction, just to put something out there that was kind of like a feel good, maybe even something you can insert in a movie or, you know what I mean? Something that moment of drama when after all of this time we went through, you didn't watch the movie and now they drop the, soulful song that makes everybody cry. That's what I would want to do in an alternative way. And
in
that's when
that
I say
same way.
movie because you can't necessarily always include every song that's like neo soul, R&B in those types
Right.
of movies. So
Right.
I would want it to be more mainstream type.
All right, so now we got this kind of a structure. We got Just Yola, we got Jasmine Sullivan. We're gonna go down this alternative pop direction. We're gonna do something a little more lively, a little more feel good, empowerment. And because of the bust your windows out the car, which I feel like Jasmine probably performed that whole thing holding a crowbar. I feel like she was in the studio in front of the mic with a crowbar in her right hand just to get the umph in it. You know what I mean? You got to be
Right.
present. You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, and because of the sultriness of Yola, like maybe we need a feature. Maybe we need a feature. My feature. Maybe let's go with a featured rapper that might
Mm.
help bring about this empowerment, this energy that we're trying to translate through the song. It could be female or male. Who's the female? I mean, who's the female? Who's the featured rap artist on this hit that we're about to make?
Well, you already know it's Lauren Hill.
They going to get Lauren.
That's
Oh my gosh, we
but
got it.
no, and that makes perfect sense. Think about it. All three of
Yes,
us have the bottoms in the song, right?
yes.
She is a hellified MC. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, before I knew who Jasmine was when she was like 11 years old, singing the Wiz, all of that stuff. So I've studied her career for years, but before I knew before I knew she came out and all of that stuff, I thought when she sang on uh I thought when Jasmine came out with what was her first song? Whatever her first song was, I thought it was Lauryn Hill.
Oh wow.
I thought it was Lauryn Hill. I was like, that sounds like Lauryn Hill, but better.
Oh, watch your mouth.
Look, I
Oh, watch your
know it's.
mouth.
I told you, and I can. There is no better, but different. Sorry,
Oh my goodness.
Lauryn Hill, but different. And then I was just like, Lauryn Hill, just wow, that's what you came out with, Lauren. And
Wow.
then
Was
there
that
you
the
have it.
song Best of Me?
It wasn't even that one. It was another
Or
one.
before that?
It was shoot, I can't even think of the song right now, but it was like one of
Wow.
her first singles
But
that
that
she came out
connection
with.
that you felt like she was Lauren. Like, yeah, but sonically, that's a that's nice.
I could just
That's
hope
nice.
that I can get in where I fit in,
Oh no,
especially.
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I remember a guy told me a long time ago, and you should hear this as well. He was like, you've made it talent wise as you know where you need to be as an artist. Like there's nothing you're gonna get better because you're human, you evolve, but you've already made it to the level in which you would need to be a superstar. So
Wow.
if you ever find yourself in the room with a Pharrell or with Timbaland or any of these mega producers, don't look at it like they're doing you a favor. You
Right.
deserve to be there. And I feel like that's the same with you. If you find yourself in that room, the studio that we just architected right now, that and Jasmine Sullivan is sitting there writing with you, trying to keep up with you. Lauren Hill is over in the side and she's, doing her hand gestures, trying to put her rhymes together. You deserve to be there. They ain't doing you no favors.
I like that concept. I'm gonna think like that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
definitely think like that. But I would be humbled in the room, though. I'd be like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
would do what I do because I'm one of those people where it's like, you give me a mic, don't give me a lead. Don't. You know better.
Right. But I'm
Know
gonna tell you
better.
what. I'm gonna tell you what's so beautiful about music and collaborations. I could see, especially being from the outside looking in, how each of you would feel honored to be there. Like you are looking at them as celebrities, right? Like
Right.
they're superstars. They're mega level, and they're like they've accepted you in the room. Like they want to work with you. Huge. You're gonna honor them. Jasmine's gonna be honored because she's like, yo, this new artist who's trying to make a lane for herself chose me. Like she can choose any of the new chicks. She can choose any of the new names that are bigger and more popping right now, but she actually came to me. So she's gonna feel honored. Lauren ain't put out an album since the Miseducation.
Right.
So she's gonna be like, all of these rappers, you could have went and got a Cardi B, you could have went and got Nicki, you could have went and got all these other rappers. You want me? So all of you are gonna be looking at the other person like, wow, I'm honored to be here. And I think that's the beauty in not making it, not looking at they're doing you a favor
Right.
because y'all in the room together. So no matter how you got here, you in a room together.
I
So
like that perspective. I really do. I really like that. And you're right. There's always a perspective you can take where you can see your value. So,
yeah,
absolutely. And I
yeah.
have value.
You sure do. You sure do. You kidding me? So I'm gonna dip away from music just for a second, um,
Hmm.
just because if people can't tell already, you're hilarious, you're funny, you're fun loving, you smile all the time, and so because of that, I feel like
And I
I want to
snort.
bring people, I want to bring people into your more humorous side, and we're gonna do it this way. I want to know your top five comedy movies of all time.
Oh,
Matter
wow.
of fact,
Come on, man.
I'll give you comedy movies and or TV shows. You can interchange however you like.
Okay.
Top five.
Um, okay. Top five. You're always making me think, man.
I love it.
And
I love
and
it.
I don't
I
even
love
want to make
it. Turner.
Okay, so one of my favorite actors, comedian is Eddie Murphy.
The goat.
I'm gonna have to say Coming to America, the first one. I have to say that.
I love,
The
I love how we all have to designate.
right.
Let me be
Yeah,
clear.
no, that's getting designated. I can't even speak nothing else. That's me. That went on repeat. We list
Yeah.
you watched it over and over again, and you rewound it certain sections just to laugh, just to watch
Oh,
those portions and laugh over and over and over and over and over again. I can
yeah.
watch it right now and just
Oh
completely
yeah. It's
just
still hilarious. It's still hilarious. And
yeah.
there's I watched it just recently, like in the past 2 weeks, and it was like there was some like the big humor you catch, right? And then you
Right.
watch it a few more times and the little humor you catch. Sometimes you miss the non-funny but still interestingly funny things that are said. Like sometimes it's some little moment. So the father, when he was saying um oh, he was saying like, "What about your bathers?" Like when Hakeem was talking about how he didn't want any more. He's like, "From now on, anyone who throws rose petals at my son's feet," right, right. So he had that barring of the rose petals, and then he said something about like, "What about your bathers? Don't you enjoy them?" And then he said, "I know I do." And I was thinking, "You married, King." Hold on, King. You're not supposed to be enjoying the bathers.
And there
What are
you
we
have it.
talking about?
And there you
And
have
I
it.
missed that the first 50 times I saw the movie. But that little, and then the way he said it, I know I do.
There's always things to be uncovered in that movie. I promise you.
Oh my goodness.
That's why it has to be my number one. I can't because and then just the
I love
the work that he did with the different characters and him and Arsenio and I found out after the fact, wait a minute, that was Arsenio? Or you know what I mean? Like
I wonder where he came up with that premise, or was it somebody else?
Right,
Like,
Richard
was that
Pryor. I'm
was
telling
that
you,
Eddie
Richard Pryor
McAfee?
is. I know, and I know it was all Eddie Murphy, but if you think about the whole concept of playing other characters in your own movie, like when it became big,
Yeah,
I'm sure it happened somewhere when
uh,
it wasn't big, but
yeah.
Richard Pryor did a lot of the which way is up, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah. And Flip Wilson
yeah,
doesn't get a lot of credit for it, but he used to be that type of character that was like playing different roles and doing different voices, and Eddie just feels like he refined it. Like he found a way to take the new technology of makeup and computerized it. Like, so, even going forward to like the clumps and Norbit, like he just kept reinventing this
exactly.
whole idea of being somebody else on screen.
Exactly. Nope, you just named off a couple more on my list. 'Cause
My bad, my bad.
it's all Eddie Murray. No, all good. No, absolutely. You know, I am a Dave Chappelle fan. And
Mm, aren't
before
we all?
before he got like, uber famous and stuff, he did this movie. Man, I can't even think of what it's called, but when I watched it, it was the funniest movie. And I watched it over and over again right now. I don't know why my
You said
brain.
before he was famous?
No, he was famous, but he was small. Remember, he not now he's like bigger, but he
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
smaller at the time, and he had a different caliber of movies and stand-ups that he did. And this
Yeah.
movie was like eh, kind of like the journey of him meeting a female, and it's not How High. It's kind of like a cannabis based movie. But
Uh-huh.
when I tell you, anytime I watch that movie, it was so hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Um Now I want to know. I'm trying to remember what other movies because he had Half Baked,
That's
which
the
I know
one.
wasn't.
Half Baked.
Oh, it was Half
Yes.
Baked. Oh, yeah, Half Baked. Just that's definitely like the right before he really like
Yes,
popped
exactly.
off.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one. I laugh at that forever. It's just the Abba Zaba. I mean, who does that? Like you get a huge like you're describing what happens to a person, if they decide to, you know, do recreational
yeah, yeah. Do the
do the
thing,
thing.
do the thing. Yeah, yeah. Like that thing.
I mean, but the thing is, we categorize things with sugars and caffeine, and all the normal everyday things are also included in those vices. So
Yeah,
he just told the story of cannabis, and I just
yeah.
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, no, no matter what he's done, I don't think I can find any Dave Chappelle material that I feel like is like, even like the skits in the Chappelle show that didn't completely hit, they were still funnier or at least on par
Man,
with a lot of the other stuff that was on TV. You know what I mean? It's like,
man, literally, he's one of my favorites up there with Eddie Murphy in terms of comedian. Just because he's so intelligent. And to be intelligent and also to take that and make it funny at the same time to where you get practical
that's
people
hard.
that are logical and they
Yeah,
understand, you're
that's
like,
hard.
man, that's so true. I was thinking that. And if it's for,
Yeah,
that is just awesome. So that's another one. I think that's four now, huh? Since you named off a couple.
well, yeah, but you didn't put them in place, so you got to
Oh,
name them. So we are
wow.
only at Coming to America.
Hmm.
I don't know if you named. Are you naming Half Baked as number two?
No, let's just put that off to
Because
the
you said
side
Dave
and
Chappelle.
okay.
Okay, all right.
So
Because I know
let's
you said Dave Chappelle, and you point out a movie that you've watched, but you didn't necessarily say the number two movie
yeah.
is.
Correct.
Yeah,
Don't make fun of me. I'm
yeah.
gonna name this movie because I spent
This is your top five. I
so
ain't gonna make
many
fun
times of my life laughing at this movie. But old school, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
of you. That's good. That's a good one.
Well,
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Is
dude,
funny.
when he came, like I'm a fan of the Waynes. I'm a fan of In Living Color, all of that stuff. We came up on that, and just it was, Fire Marshal Bill, like all the big actors of now that people would never know unless you dive into their, catalog of
Right,
work. Um,
right.
yeah, I'm gonna get you, sucker, you dirty mother.
Don't say that.
Hey,
I'm gonna teach you the crime. Just don't
you
look
better
me
sing. Okay, pot is good. And pot is good.
all the time. All the time.
Yes. So,
Yes, yes.
so that would
Oh,
probably be
wow.
my number two, following Half Baked. And these orders can change because I'm learning this about myself as we speak. Because I never really thought of it. I have so many favorites. Okay,
Okay, okay,
and it's your fault.
okay. I'm gonna get you suckers out there. Okay. Is that number two?
That for now, it's going to fall in the number
Okay,
two
yeah.
category, and then Half
Okay.
Baked is
All
going
right,
to fall
cool.
in number three.
Got it.
I would say number four is going to be um, you know, Jim Carrey is actually one of my favorite actors, comedians. I've never even seen him do stand up, but this just in terms of what the work he
Yeah,
did in Living Color and is the work he does in general is just so
yeah.
hilarious to me. And there's this
Always.
movie that he made called Irene. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yeah, me, myself, and
Me,
Irene.
myself, and Irene.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good movie.
And when you want to talk about like laughter on a few scenes, like when she had, you know, that the guy made the other kids, and all of them kids is his. Like, it's really, I mean, come on, man. I'm not. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry, but
Yeah, you got to
he
see it.
raising
You
two
got to see it to
grown,
understand it.
big black men as his own. Believes it, can't. No, those are his kids.
All right. Yeah, no, and then
Ooh.
watching him uh just watching him switch from character to character in that film. I think he even like fought himself because it was it
Yes.
was
Yeah.
it was Charlie and Hank,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, the other character was Hank. Man, when they fought, only Jim Carrey can pull that off.
Right. I mean, it was real. This is not, they did no gimmicks. This is Jim Carrey fighting himself and as two different characters. You believe that he is two
You
different
believe it?
people in this movie. And it was just like, wow. Like,
I mean, to do that, I don't know how many takes it took. I mean, I'm pretty sure with Jim Carrey, it didn't take many. Like he just seems like the guy that you just turn on the camera, back everybody up, get the lighting right, sound, we're good. All right, rolling. It's on you, Jim, and just let him go.
exactly.
Just let him go because you're not gonna. No one else could have choreographed that for him. You can't coach him through that. Like that's a him moment.
No, that is a Jim Carrey
That is a
classic.
him moment.
Can't be trained to do. This is what he comes up with 100%. So,
Me, myself, and Irene. It's
yeah.
understandable how Jim Carrey uh had issues in marriage
Yeah,
with
that part.
funny guy because women don't really always want you to be like funny. Like, all right, okay, cool, all right,
We want you to be
okay. Let me
funny.
not let me say it, not every woman wants that.
That's true. That's to have a good
Not
sense of
every
humor, but not over the top, and not at the
not
wrong
over the
time.
exactly. So you don't want to come to him with a serious moment like, babe, I really was thinking about da da da, and then he turns into Hank. He like, please not Hank tonight. He's like, I can't help it. And you're like,
Yeah. So
please, Jim, put Hank away. Jim, put Hank away.
I think there was another movie that he did that he actually went so serious with the role. The Andy, you know what I'm talking about?
Andy Milanakis.
Whatever that one, the one of his latest, not latest, but one of his roles before he started doing like the other type of movies he
Oh, I
does
thought you meant
now.
the way he worked.
They did a documentary on that, and he literally lived the role to where you had to call him the name, and it was like
Oh wow.
he became that person for a little while. He was like in awe. It's like, who am I? Like, you know what I mean? Doing the things,
Uh,
and he studied him to that degree. It was like, I'm going to become this guy, and he almost
Wow,
borderline became it. It was almost like everybody was just like, "Hey, wait, can I talk to Jim?"
that's interesting. So
Yeah.
definitely not Anthony Leonakis. I thought you were about to say somebody was saying it about him or somebody he was working with.
Hmm.
But yeah, that sounds about right. Because when they play those role characters, like they do have to like really be immersed
Hmm.
into that person, whether it's a specific person that they get to mirror and study and question and interview and all of that, or it's just an idea of a person that holds these different attributes and they create a backstory or they try to talk to people that live some kind of story similar. I can imagine how it's kind of hard to get out of it. It's to like fighters. Like I've heard fighters say, like when they're in their training camps,
Hmm.
they're like they have to be a different person. Like they can't be as pleasant and as nice and agreeable. Like they gotta kind of gotta turn that off a little bit so they can get the edge.
Right.
They can bring
Exactly.
that inner monster a little bit so they're not all nice and all respectful. Like no, I'm trying to knock your head off. But the normal me like respects you as a fighter and I know you're trying to do things for your family too, and I want you to do well. Like, no. The beast in me is like, forget your family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care about your family. How about that?
And that's how I won the fight.
And that's how and I've heard them
Let
say
the beast out.
let the beast out. I've heard them say that it might take them a week to kind of like then come out of that space to kind of regain the normalcy
No,
of
that
their
makes a lot
regular
of sense though.
personality. So it makes sense because these actors they be in it way long. This fight is like one night for like less than an hour. You know what I
Man.
mean? Whereas these they be filming these movies for months sometimes. So I get it.
Oh man,
I
I think
get
that
it.
was four. I think
Me
we're at
myself,
four.
and Irene.
Yeah, actually, let's switch to
Number
the
four.
rule to rule.
Okay.
So, coming to America, me, myself, and
Me
Irene.
myself. Oh,
Then
I'm
we'll
gonna get you
do. I'm gonna
sucker.
get you sucker,
Then half baked.
and then half baked.
So we got number 5 is on the way. I told y'all we was gonna tap into the humor. Y'all see it. You see what I was saying. You see what I was talking about when I
She
had been
not
talking.
funny. She not. You
All
the
right,
only one. You the. um,
number 5.
Number five. Oh, five is such a special spot because there's so many out
Mm,
there.
this is gonna be tough. 5 is always the
Man.
one that everyone struggles with in any top 5 list because now you've created a certain expectation with your first 4, right? You've
Right.
created a capacity, and now number 5, now you have to ward off all the potential contenders.
Exactly.
There's only one spot left. 5 is the
Oh,
toughest spot, low key.
I'm trying to think of what movie just took me out. Okay, here's the movie, and don't be mad. I'll do
I
this.
love how you
Only,
preface each one. All right, I'm gonna say it. Don't make fun of me. All right, here you go. Don't be mad.
only because I lost it and lost it. Okay, these movies that I lose it on are Ted.
Okay, I'm gonna have to make fun of you now. I'm just gonna.
Let me tell you why and when. Okay, let me
Oh,
tell you
first,
why
hold on.
and
Before you
when.
tell me, I'm just gonna tell you this. The funniest thing that you said, Ted, is I was just talking to my wife yesterday, and I was like, "Did you ever?" I kid you not. I was like, "Did you ever watch Ted?" And she was like, "Nah." I looked at that like it was just like white people comedy, and and I said, I felt the same way. And I pointed out a scene. I'll wait because I want to hear your reason. I'll tell you the scene that I watched, and I was like, okay, that scene was a little funny. Now you tell me how, out of all the movies, because you're about to get roasted with
I
all the
am,
people that didn't make it to
and
put
I
10 in
am,
there.
and I
Okay?
could be wrong because I'm already thinking of something to kill, just to kill it. But
No, you done said it now.
the part at the very end.
Okay. I don't know the very end because I've
Oh, okay.
only
Well,
seen
there.
one scene of Ted my entire life.
So Ted, okay, but you understand the concept of what Ted is, right?
Yes.
He's a real life, kind of imaginary character that was created in order to help him get through life. Whatever, the guy, the main character.
Did
Um.
not know that. So
Oh,
you gotta
okay.
watch it. All I knew, this is what I knew. because you just told me someone who actually knows what
Oh,
their interpretation. Here's my and most people's interpretation of Ted. It's a talking teddy bear that everybody thinks is funny, and he's a little vulgar at times. That's it. That's
oh
all.
no, 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 no.
That's
It's
it. That's
way,
all I
it's
know.
so much deeper than that.
Okay.
He
Okay. Go
manifested
ahead.
Ted
You might
into
be feeling
life
it right now.
to help him through his difficult situations. And just Ted ended up being,
Hmm.
famous in his own right because people were like, "Oh, what a talking teddy bear! Oh my gosh!" So he got his little fame as a teddy bear, but then had to kind of come into life as an adult and as a person. And he was still kitty. He was still doing things that were not necessarily smart and bringing, the main character's life down. And he met a woman, and he was still kicking it with Ted. It was Mark Wahlberg. He was
Yeah.
still kicking it with Ted. She's like, "Can you leave your teddy bear at home? Like, come on, man, what we doing?" And so there became this person that was obsessed with Ted, and he kidnapped Ted for his son to kind of like destroy him or whatever, or just have him because his son was a weirdo.
Hmm.
Anyways, make a long story short, at the very end, Ted ends up being completely destroyed. Okay, the girl, his wife or girlfriend that will be his wife, his fiance, at the time gave her one wish so that Ted could continue to live, right? Be alive. Like, I don't want him to die, whatever, learn to love this little guy.
I'll be honest. This is not sounding like a comedy at all. But please
It,
continue.
there's
Please.
when you
Number
watch
five.
it
So
again,
please.
you'll see the humor because now you're going to be compelled to watch it. The I compel you to the power inside me compels. Anyways, the very end, he ends up getting kind of like decapitated and all the stuff. They sew him together, get the
Right.
wish,
Right.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
Brings back. Oh, Ted. He opens his eyes. And when he opens his eyes, he's like, "I mean, you know, messed up, but," and he was kidding, and I lost it. He was acting like he was.
He said, "I want to get my stuff back."
No, he didn't come back normal. He came back kind of
Uh,
different, kind of special needs. And so, but he was joking, and my sick, dry humor was like, "That is the funniest thing I've seen in my life. Why would you bring him back and then act like he was special needs?" And and then make us laugh at it. Like, that is such sick humor. And unfortunately, for a person like me,
and you
who
loved it.
I'm a sci-fi nut type,
You loved
yeah, it was
it.
funny, and it goes in the list. And I'm so sorry that it's
Everyone,
disappointed
I
everyone.
apologize. I should have gave her a top four. Um, because somewhere we derailed somewhere there at
Somewhere we
the
lost sight
end.
of what happened.
I'm really trying to understand. You said he
All right, all right, knock that one out. Can we
nope, nope.
let's do 50 Shades of Black and leave it there.
It's in there. Ted is better. Ted is better than any movie that y'all might think of. House Party, Life, Harlem Nights. It don't matter.
Oh, Life. Oh my
Ted,
gosh.
nope. Ted.
Something
I'd
is wrong with
rather
me.
watch Ted. If I was stranded
No.
on the island, if
No.
I was stranded on the island and all I could take was five movies, oh Lord, fifth movie gonna be
No.
Ted.
You're right. Please replace my 5 with Life. Please. That's even disrespectful to Kelly Price, who sang that one song on the soundtrack. And I
Mm,
apologize. She's one of my
mm.
favorites. And is an Eddie Murphy film. Make Life, and that's not even my 5. Like, let's push that up to my number 3. And then
Oh.
we can and then I can be okay. And then I can actually go off into the world as a person that actually has a decent top 5.
Hold on. But we got to get back. I got to hear one last thing about Ted because I got very lost at the beginning. You said the main character, Mark Wahlberg's character, right?
Yes.
He created him. So when
Hmm.
you said that, I thought you were saying like it's like a figment of his imagination. But then you're saying, but other people talk to him, and so he's not. He's a real thing. So
Correct.
is his character like some kind of scientist? Like how did he create him?
No, it's kind of like that last Christmas wish thing is how they told the
Mm,
story. So, and this is from memory because it's been a minute. So if I misquote what happened in the movie, yeah, I just misquoted it.
Gotcha.
But he went from he kind of like, oh, people have, imaginary friends in order to, kind of get through being bullied or tough
Yeah.
times in their life. And so he made a best friend out of his teddy bear and wished he would be a real life best friend. And incidentally, it happened. And in real life, in the movie, he
Got it.
was considered a real life best friend. And so he got in a movie. They was like, "Oh, there's a real like you can act, okay." We'll put and he became like a child star. And so as he got older, that show was canceled or whatever the case was. People still knew who he was and they wanted him. And so there was the villain in the movie was like, "I have a kid. I want Ted. Let me give it to my kid. I've always wanted one of those, the real Ted." It was just I have a very, weird
I'll tell
now
you,
now the
I'll
world
tell
knows.
you the one thing that I saw, and I will say this: Ted is one for one with me because I've only seen one scene, and the scene was pretty funny. And so
Which scene was that?
they had just somehow, I don't know, the whatever governing bodies had just said, like, declared him not a person but declared him property. And he went to Mark Wahlberg's when he was at the house. Mark Wahlberg's character walks in and he's like, what is this they're saying, that you're property? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, what does that even mean? Like, you're like garbage or a piece of shit? And and Ted said something to the effect like, I was thinking like a toothbrush or a orange. I was like, all right,
See, already. Here we go. And then redeem me. Please go and watch that and redeem me and do another podcast with that conversation surrounding why or why not Ted is a funny ass movie.
okay,
Please.
okay.
Because
I will, because hopefully I can at least categorize it as a funny movie. I'll be honest. I don't think I could ever argue enough to get it into someone's top five like you put originally. But we
got
gonna
it. The lift and shift. I did a lift and shift. All right. And it was a bad thing and it took up a lot of our time. And I'm sorry
a
about that.
lift and shift. Oh, I love it. A lift and shift. Okay, thank you for that. That's a good top five. I like it. I like it. If anyone's just joining, the top five movies from just top five comedy movies from Just Yola are Coming to America, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker,
Yes.
Life,
Yes.
um, Half
Half baked. No,
Half
me,
Baked,
myself, and Irene.
yeah, Me, Myself, and Irene,
Half
and
baked.
then Half Baked.
And now I can still be a member of the society and of society and in the community.
All right. All right. So you are a phenomenal soul singer. Phenom, right? Phenom. Love it. You're amazing, beautiful voice. You've always had it, and it's only gotten better the more you've understood your voice. My question to you is, not everybody has that. Not everybody was born with that. I'm gonna just say it simply and I'm gonna let you fill in the blanks. How do you sing?
Oh, that's a great way to ask that question. I sing with my being. I mean, and I don't know if that really even makes sense. Like, it's you know, since the time that I kind of realized that I could do this thing, right? Because I'm not formally trained in any way. It is a gift, 1,000%. And so the way that I sing is, you know, kind of like a lot of that we've already talked about. How Jim Carrey, his art is his art.
Mm,
You can't be coached into that. It's not something you could be formally trained. That is organically how he comes up with what we see and we love it, right? And
yeah,
so with me, that's kind of how I am and I want it that way. There are times that I will study the hell out of something to sing it with the way that the artist sang it, but the stuff that I create on my own, written music is definitely a part of who I am. So, like, if I could be, half music, half Yola, just Yola, that's
yeah.
what I am. And that's how I sing. I don't know if that answered your question in the context you were looking for, but
I get it.
I breathe it. I breathe music, and whatever it is, whether it comes out likable or not likable, good note or not so good note, it is a part of who I am as a person, and it literally is the kind of like how they say, when the beat to your drum, like how you
Mm,
mental health wise, it's
yeah.
literally how I've navigated through life.
Well, since you've been doing this since you were holding hymn books upside down at 3 years old, you also have a trust, right? There's a trust factor that you have when you open your mouth. There's a trust factor in your own being, as you say. Now, how would you teach someone else to sing?
Oh wow. And I've on occasion I've done that. There are some techniques as a person that understands vocals, and a lot of in Javance, I can name drop because it's our good friend.
Vance Book, yep.
I know Javance from when he first started playing, and Javance is not classically or formally taught how to play piano. He
Right.
literally picked this up when you touch a thing, and
Yeah,
your fingers become a part of the instrument,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's kind of like how I would try and illustrate to a person that's trying to sing, smile when you sing,
Mm,
exude what kind of character you're trying to convey. You know what I mean? It's just like you being an MC, right? When you rap or rhyme, whatever the case is, however you want that particular line to come off is the cadence and the energy that you want to give to it. So it's kind of those are the type of things. And I'm not going to, you know, get on the piano like sing this, that's for if you want to go. But I would teach, I would teach energy, character, and then, always performance, make sure that and everybody's is different, right? Like everybody has a different way, and it
yeah,
really just depends on how do you want to project yourself on stage. What is the message you're trying to get your audience to understand, to feel you, right? And
yeah.
so those are the type of things that, for someone that's an artist that's trying to really sing, that I would coach to, depending on if they even need that coaching. Otherwise, I'm taking notes and say, that's how you do that. Okay. Maybe I can. I mean, unless the notes aren't off, and then that's a whole nother conversation. That's there's certain artists out there that really aren't that don't hear music, the same way, and they're equally successful,
Yeah,
or if not more. It's just really depending on your audience, your hook, what it is about you.
yeah.
But if I had a little protege to little mode and stuff. Like my niece, she can sing. She sings
Hmm.
very well, and that's some of the things that I kind of coach her. Find an artist to study. Who do you like? And find sing those notes, not and then add your own character. Add who you are, as who you are, and as you're learning who you are. And that's kind of what I did for myself. I always try to speak um, from my own experience, right?
Yeah,
And then you have a choice on how if you want to utilize that support.
yeah. And
Did that
so
answer your question?
no, you definitely did, and you bring up a good point. Something I was actually going to ask next. Ask next is that we all have to consistently be students, right? The idea is you're always learning in whatever facet that is, even if it's just your own home cooking. You know what I mean? You might be
Right.
watching TikToks or YouTube videos to try to learn new ideas. So who does Just Yola learn from at this point, being so elevated as a vocalist?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. Okay. One of the most beautiful, I mean, talented, energy flowing individuals that I'm working with currently is someone by the name of Ariel Marin. And she has 16, now 17, like part of her band. I'm so excited. Members that, alternate throughout different venues that she has throughout the Bay Area.
Wow.
And that's who I'm learning from right now. And so the idea is I'm seeing her background. I'm a part of her background. Last night, I had the honor of being able to accompany her at a place called I think it's the Wine Nest in Richmond, California, Bonaire.
Nice.
And it was a little nice stand up, thing, but I was her backup and it was awesome. Like really being able to share my gift and how I'm learning from her as a background singer is really to understand the mechanics of being a background singer under and as we've learned earlier at the start of this pod, you know, pod is real cast. Pod is good. Cast. Pod is real. Pod is real.
It's
Pod
real,
is real.
and all the
Pod is
time, pot
good.
is real.
Pod is all the time. Pod is good. Okay. Um, at the beginning here that I'm a big singer. I'm a lead all day, every day. You give me a mic, I'm gonna go crazy on it. So I'm really
Like Jill
wanting.
Scott crazy on it, or just
I go crazy on the mic.
like 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 you remember Jill Scott with the? You mean like Jill Scott crazy, or
So what happened was
I'm just saying I feel like Jill Scott just changed the whole identity of I go crazy on the mic. It's like ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just asking. It's like how you mean it. That's what how
I
you mean it.
do I do eat a good mic. I do I will eat the mic as often as I can if I
As
can.
often as I.
And I snort from time to time and I apologize for that.
That's
But
only when we get her good though. That's only when we get that good laugh. Then you get the snort. That's
and
when
I
you
can't
really.
control it. That's the bad part. So my goal with the support of this beautiful sultry, she is literally like the Sade of the Bay vocalist. I gave you the little soft copy of, to promote her little loving group
Yeah.
events that she has. But yeah, I'm gonna be a part of that. I'm not in that picture because I was a late ad, but 100%, I am so humbled and honored to be a part of her team. She has an amazing ear, an amazing voice, and I'm learning so much from her, not only spiritually, but also just as a vocalist, just to, fine tune up, toot up my ear, because she is extraordinarily pays attention to detail and all those particular things. So yes, we are going to be in Oakland, um, supporting kind of a corporate event, supporting a group of individuals that are helping put together funds for scholarships for Black children, the community, Black
Oh,
individuals. So it's a really wonderful event to be a part of, and I'm just happy
yeah.
to be in the background. So I am. Soon we're done here, I'll be studying her material to make sure that I'm on point for that. So that's what I'm doing.
Very cool. That's very cool. Very cool. I'm sitting here. I was trying to be able to put it up so you could talk about it.
Yeah, I sent it to
There
you.
is
I sent it the text to you. Yes, that's what it is.
yeah,
There you go. That is
that's the
the
group, right?
event. Yes, Ariel, Marin, and the award-winning band. We are awesome. I'm so happy, like I said, to be a part of the team. And then that is the event. So
The
check it
award
out.
winning
Yes.
the award. So do you know what awards she's won?
I just got part of the group, okay? So you can't quiz me like that right now. Um,
I don't know.
listen, I was
Okay,
about to call you by. Listen, I was about to call you by your government name.
that's okay. I don't mind people knowing my government name. I'm on Facebook, so I mean they're gonna see it anyway.
This is the Black Tie Gala. Thank you so much.
Okay.
On the 21st, we are helping the children
Hmm. October 21st,
in
5
in
to
in the
12.
community. So definitely want to be. But yeah, I will be putting this up along with one of her original songs on my Instagram, Just Yola. And her Instagram is Ariel Marin Music.
Gotcha. These time frames now as a married man, time frames like 5 to 12 be making me feel like, yeah, this is that was scheduled without women in mind. Like you know
No,
the
it's a group
difference in
effort. It's a
trying to
team
make
thing.
5 p.m. to midnight in the Bay Area and trying to be cute. You know? Do you know that?
I'm not doing this with you right now. That's you gave me an amazing segue, and this is where we landed. You gave me an amazing segue.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It says special honorary guest TBA. Okay, we don't know who that is. Could be me. Who knows? Um, and the host is Donald Lacey Jr. That looks fun.
Yeah,
I love a good black tie event. I
yeah.
love a good,
It's a
bring the
tawdry
dud.
affair. Oh yeah, we're gonna be dressed,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to remind them. Go back in the closet, find that thing back there.
Prom night.
And who don't love a good prom night? That's a really good idea though. Like having like a today prom. Like we're gonna create a new event. You know, how prom always had like a theme, right? It's always
Right.
like the night under the
I
sea, and
love that. Just like prom night, and everybody wears suits, suited and booted, tailored only. If it ain't tailored, you're not coming. Like don't, but
you ain't
don't,
coming. You got,
don't you buy that suit
come
without
on.
paying that extra money for the tailoring.
It don't cost that much. Come on, man. Pay a little 12, 17
Come
dollars,
on, man.
depending on where you at, man. Let them cut that thing up for you.
Come on, man.
Come out in your good ones. You know what I'm saying? And don't mess it up. Don't try to diddy it up. Don't try to bad boy it up. Just
Play
keep
to
it
your
clean. You know
strengths,
what I'm saying?
man.
Like George Clooney that thing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it clean. So, sometimes
Oh
you gotta
my
keep it clean.
God. I quit. I'm done. I can't. I can't.
All right, we have talked about who inspires you, who you listen to, who you've even worked with. I mean, would want to work with when we talked about Jasmine, and now we're talking about who you learned from. We haven't really talked about you. So, just Yola, as an artist, tell us about you. Tell us about your music, what you got coming out, what you're working on. Because at this point, I know anybody watching, they're like, "Yo, I want to hear more." I heard a little piece of that. I heard a little piece earlier.
You are awesome. Thank you for saying that. Just Yola. My 9 to 5. We all have a 9 to 5, right? I am an HR
Oh my,
manager. At Kaiser
mm,
Permanente.
you singing that Kaiser, singing that benefits program.
Yes.
Mm, mm,
So
get
that
those
is,
kids right.
man.
My
This
bad, my bad. I mean,
that that's what pays my bills. Um,
mhm.
I am a caregiver. I am a humbled, loving, wonderful grandchild to an amazing grandmother who we just recently relocated out here. So I
Mm.
am gotta put this
I
in
hate, I hate to
perspective.
cut in. I hate to cut in on such a good moment. I think it's hilarious and so true and honest and authentic to you. You said humble and wonderful in the
Oh yeah.
same descriptive cluster. I loved that.
Look,
Like
look,
I am a humble, wonderful, modest, incredible person.
but listen, this is so funny though, right? Like it's funny that you called that out because every single time I've kind of been like conditioned by everyone that when I support my grandmother, they're like, she's lucky to have you. And I'm like, I'm lucky to have her. Like I'm always that's
Mm,
always my comeback
yeah,
line. But everybody's like, oh my gosh, and I have to do these things, right? Like there's things that I have to do for her and I'm her
yeah,
mouth,
yeah.
her voice and trying to make things sure things are done appropriately for her. They're like, oh my God, you do all
Love it.
that? And they're like, are you in the healthcare industry? I'm like, well, I'm in HR, but nah, I mean, I picked up on everything I do for her because how would I want it done for me at her
Mm,
age? So that's how
wow,
I look at
wow,
it. Um, which has nothing to do with just Yola as a music here, but it has everything to do with who I am in the direction of my music right now because it is my priority. And those are the things that
oh yeah,
navigate me to being an artist as just Yola and the ability to be able to prioritize that in my life, right? So I
yeah.
would be remiss if I did not at least share those things about myself. Um,
Absolutely. And it feeds your emotion and your mental state and all those things that are eventually going to come out in your music, whether they come out in lyric or they come out in energy, it's gonna come out.
Exactly. So just Yola as an artist is about perspective. And it's
Mm,
really about looking at things from a perspective of, okay, this is what happened and this is now how I look at it. Okay. And so there's always about growth and making sure that I come within on how I can improve. Okay, this is how I did it this time. And it was a process, like with everything that I've done within the past 6 months to getting to where I'm at right now. And I'm still in my process and I will forever be in my process. But a lot of the material that I write is from honest and true experience, and I like to tell my audience, okay, this is where I was at. This is what you're hearing. This is not how I feel right now, but I have to tell you this story so that you know. And if you're into this scenario right now, do this. So, my first single, produced by one of my best friends, Spitfire Official, right? Um,
Fire
man,
official.
we once,
That's the name right there.
um,
That's the name.
one of my best friends, Jamila Ayana, we were one day she was like, "Why don't you just work with Simon, Spitfire Official? Why don't you just go in there and create with him?" Because they had a group and he's a
Oh,
producer, and you know, we I had sang hooks and stuff like that for whatever artist necessary. I can't remember some time ago, and she's like, "Why don't you guys just go and see what happens?" So I was like, "Okay, so what you feel about it, Simon?" He was like, "Okay, well let's do something." So we got in the studio and we just started. He, put together some stuff. We talked literally for hours prior to, like, about everything.
yeah,
We just talked and we were just like, "Mm."
that's good. That's always a good beginning
Yeah,
process.
and it wasn't intentional. It was just like, oh yeah, catching up on this. I was like, yeah, because such and such and such. And I was in a place in my life where I was kind of getting off of a relationship and reflecting on
Mhm.
relationships. And
You had a
so,
crowbar in your hand. You had that crowbar. You was
man,
thinking. You was
that crowbar
like,
was in my hand tight.
okay,
And he was talking me
tight.
off the ledge. And the way that we kind of manifested what came out in our music was just unrealistic. It literally, like every song on this project with me and him is his contribution musically, my contribution,
Wow.
vocally, obviously, but also we co-wrote a lot of the songs together, pieced it together that
Nice.
made sense. And it came out like some of the songs we wrote in like an hour or something. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous how it came out, and I was like, oh, that's dope. Okay, whatever. And so on a lot of the on a lot of little voice notes that I take from there, you'll hear us like going crazy, like it's hot, it's hot, like that kind of stuff going on. But
We got to kill him with this one.
right,
We got to kill him. The game is over.
it's
The
just
game is over.
the energy. It was so dope. I mean, it always has been. And so, my first single that I'm, um, going to come out very soon. I don't have a date for you guys, but it's called Fired. It's called Fired,
Fire.
and it is a story of, it's a story of one main relationship, but a series of relationships where I um dealt with a person that just kind of didn't really contribute to the relationship the way that I was contributing. And so, we always have those imbalanced situations where somebody's doing one thing and another person's doing that. And it's like, but you still steady with them, right?
Yeah,
So it's me
yeah.
telling my story up until I had to fire the person. And it's just really me sharing. My first line is, what type of man takes you out with no money on your birthday, right?
Let me answer. Let me answer that by using your title, a man that got fired. You see how that all just worked itself in there. A man that got fired is like, hey,
Right. No,
I gotta
perfect.
tell you something. I gotta tell you something.
And that's the answer. 1000%. That is the answer. So,
Oh,
and it's a perspective, things I could have done differently. I learned from those relationships. But at the same
yeah.
time, when you hear this song, you will understand definitely where I was at the time. And when I perform it, I always like to preface it with perspective. So
Mm.
that's who I am as an artist right now. And I definitely write from a place of truth. And emotion, and I really want my listener to understand my emotion and kind of just make a decision about whatever it is you doing. Don't, if you need to fire a person, if you're not being met, financially, physically, whatever it is that needs to be met, you should hopefully
Yeah.
be with someone that can kind of meet you halfway, at least have a discussion, and then you guys can decide whether or not it's something that you should continue to do. And
Mhm.
not just be in a situation where it's like, okay, I'm not being fulfilled, but I really, 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 really want to be in a relationship. Like, really identify that. So, for me, it's about being emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, did we just do a jinx? I love it. Oh my god, jinx! Yes, that is the artist I am. That is everything that I want to be. I just want to tell my story and give my emotions. You jinx? What happened? You telling me to shut up? What? Yeah.
I was trying to follow your jinx. I was saying unjinx me.
Oh, unjinxed, 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 unjinxed.
I was trying to mime you
Okay, and
jinx
I'm
me. Say
slow,
my name. She's like, what
and I'm
happened?
so.
I'm like, what? Why you not talking? That's
I'm
why
like, what
you're
happened to the audio? Let me get on this
that's
phone real
weird.
quick.
That's odd
No,
for you to
no
just stop
audio.
talking all of a sudden. That's
No
crazy.
audio, and I jinxed you. See, but I didn't know if we really jinxed because we jinxed so in sync, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It
It
was
was
like,
I respect it. I always tell my kids the game doesn't work unless everybody respects the game. It doesn't work. If all the people if it's anarchy, then there's no game. You gotta respect the rules. So you said jinx, I respect it.
you are awesome.
Just Yola, this has been a fantastic episode. I'm so thankful for you, thankful to you for being here, for sharing your personality, sharing your vocals, sharing your experience with us. This was good. This was really
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
honestly, I'm truly honored to be here. We haven't connected in a while, so this was like really a catch up for us.
I
So
love it.
we'll
I love
probably gonna have to catch up some other time to really catch up.
it. Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, I really I love what you're doing, and I appreciate your support. You little coachings that you've been coaching me just a little bit. Look, here's a coach, and yeah, shut up, just shut up. And then the wonderful segues. Here's your segue. Like, oh, segue time. Ah! I'm a little slow, but I get excited when I catch on.
Oh man, I'm gonna bring you and Javance back on at the same
Yes, I
time.
would love that. I love,
Yeah.
you know what? Me and Javance go way back. Like Javance is like
Mhm.
one of my first, one of,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of first friends, but he is one of the first people, definitely my first musician friend. And,
Yeah.
there's not a year that goes by that Javance and I do not say happy birthday. And it's not from Facebook. We've been doing that. Like,
Love
we've been on some happy
love
birthday
it.
stuff. I remember his birthday is April 13th.
Look
Boom, boom.
look at it. Yeah, you need that. You know what I'm saying? You need that. That is that's something that we don't um not everybody has, you know what I'm saying, all the time in their life. So I think that's huge to have those people that just hit you up and say happy birthday. But
Yeah.
we're gonna have to have because I think we can have a really interesting conversation just in our own history. Javance told me something. I'm gonna end with this because I was blown away. Javance told me I was the reason that he became a music producer. And
Wow.
I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, dude, we were at my house one day and I was playing music and you asked me, did I produce? And I told you no. And you said, what I forgot it. He knows it exactly, but basically I said something to the effect of, with all the instruments that you play and with your ear for music, you play better than a lot of people that actually produce. You could produce. And he said, when you left that day, I was sitting there thinking like, man, maybe I could. And from that day forward, he started working on being a producer.
I believe it. I have no doubt. You've always been one of those people, like an encourager, motivational. Let me get that talent. What the heck? So look, hindsight that comes out, the truth comes out. You done motivated all kinds of people. Shoot, I already told you I was like a scared little person. You was like, come through with me, come on, ride with me. We'll do it. And I was like, not enough preparation. No, I will not embarrass myself. You got it on your own. You don't need me.
Yep, that's pretty much
Hindsight,
it.
and we're still friends.
We still gonna shine. We still gonna shine. All right, just Yola. I will holler at you. Love you, girl. Take care.
Love you more. Thanks for having me.
For
Appreciate
sure.
you.
Peace out.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 47 of the Pod is Good podcast. I hope you were thoroughly entertained. I had a great time. I know Just Yola had a great time. So I'm hoping you had one too, because if you didn't, you just missed out. It was right there. All you had to do was pick it up. Just pick up the good time, and you could have had it too. So I hope you had a good time. Until the next time, I am Cashmere, California. This is the Pod is Good podcast. And if you enjoyed the content, please, as I always say, as everybody on here says, in any video that you watch, because it means so much, please subscribe, watch, share, comment, do anything. Do one thing. For me, you don't got to do them all. And to my cousin out there, love you. Thank you for enjoying it. I see you out there. I see you. Yeah, you don't got to do them all for me, but do one of them if you enjoyed it. Till next time, I'm Cashmere. Peace out. Oh, hold on. I forgot to hit the. No, no, wait, don't leave. Don't leave. I make sure I leave y'all the right way. Now, peace out.